Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB early slate on DraftKings for Saturday, July the 27th. So there is a 4-game early slate today. I will be covering this slate in this video. I will also be making a video for the main. There is a 10-game main slate. I'll be making that video later tonight. But I did want to go ahead and get something out for the early slate since we have a pretty nice one, 4 games. We'll talk about pitching. Just looking at pitching, you can see the options available. It's pretty gross. Clayton Kershaw is our most expensive option, and then once you get past Kershaw, it's really just a bunch of scrubs that are available. So I'll do my best going through pitching, talk about where I'm going to go. We'll look at some hitters I like. We'll talk about some stacks as well. And then towards the end of the video, we'll look at some BVP plays. Just before we do get started, guys, I would appreciate it if you would drop a like on the video. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you click that subscribe button down below so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. But at the top of the pitcher-player pool, Clayton Kershaw, our most expensive option. He's $11,400 and gets a matchup against the Nationals. So I would definitely say that this is a less than ideal matchup for Kershaw. It's a good Nationals team, a Nationals team that doesn't really strike out much versus left-handed pitching. But if you just look at the other options that we have on this slate, like we do have some decent pitchers in Eduardo Rodriguez. I guess CC Sabathia is decent, but they're in really tough spots. Erod has to face the Yankees. CC Sabathia has to face the Red Sox. Marco Gonzalez is in a good matchup against the Tigers, but he's also priced up to $9,300. And $9,300 for Marco Gonzalez just doesn't feel like a price tag I want to pay. Jalen Beeks, not 100% confirmed if he's going to be the starter for the Rays, but he could definitely be an option at $7,600 against the Blue Jays. Ryan Baruchi against the Rays, don't know if I really want to go there. I think the Rays are actually going to be a team I look to stack up today. I do like Tyler Alexander as a value play. Alexander is very cheap, only $5,800 against the Mariners. I think that's a very favorable spot for him. And then Joe Ross against the Dodgers. Joe Ross is really cheap, but tough matchup with the Dodgers. Don't really want to go there. So I would say on this slate, there's about 3 or 4 guys I'm going to be playing. Kershaw's obviously going to be one of them. Just hard to get away from him on a short slate where we don't have a lot of good pitching. So I don't think Kershaw is going to go out there and just mow down this Nationals team, but he could definitely get 6-7 innings, 6-7 strikeouts, get you 20-25 DraftKings points. Kershaw's been very consistent this year. Rarely has he struggled at all. You just looking at his last 10 games. Did have one start against Arizona where he did get blown up, allowed 7 hits, 4 runs through 6 innings, only 4 DraftKings points, but usually Kershaw gets you 15 to 20 DraftKings points. That's about what his floor is, and he does have a little bit of a ceiling. Showed it in that last start against Miami. Went 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits, got 10 strikeouts. Not saying we're going to get that kind of start from Kershaw, but if he goes for 25 DK points, that's probably going to be good enough on a slate like this. So I do like paying up for Kershaw. And then I mentioned Tyler Alexander. He's very cheap. I really like him here, only $5,800 against the Mariners. So this is a very favorable spot for Alexander. This Mariners team really struggles versus left-handed pitching. They don't have a lot of good hitters in their lineup either. They're actually a pretty left-handed heavy lineup as well. Right now, their projected lineup only has 4 righties in it: Tim Beckham, Tom Murphy, Austin Nola, and Christopher Negron. So very favorable spot for Alexander. He hasn't been terrible this year. He's made 2 starts with the Tigers, one against the White Sox and one against the Blue Jays. In his start against the White Sox, he went 5 innings, allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, got 4 strikeouts, 12 DraftKings points. And then in his last start against the Blue Jays, went 7 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 run, only got 1 strikeout, 13 DraftKings points. He's not a strikeout pitcher, but this is a favorable matchup for K, so he could definitely go out there and get 5 or 6 strikeouts, get you 15 to 20 DraftKings points, and be a really good value play. So I do like going Kershaw-Alexander. That still leaves you $4,100 remaining per player, which you should easily be able to work around today. But other guys I'll have in my player pool, I'll probably be excluding Erod. I'll be excluding CC Sabathia. I'll be excluding Ross and Baruchi. Really the only 4 guys I'm going to have exposure to are Kershaw, maybe Marco Gonzalez, but I honestly might exclude him too because he's $9,300. It's probably just going to be a lot of Kershaw, a lot of Alexander, and some Beeks for me on this early slate. So let's go ahead and talk about some bats now since we pretty much covered all the pitching options that I like. We'll definitely want to talk about this Yankees and Red Sox game. This game is, I think, the game to go to for hitters. CC Sabathia and Erod going up against each other, 2 lefties. 2 lefties that I don't think are like that great. Both pitchers are about average at best, and they're in very tough spots. Sabathia having to face the Red Sox, Erod having to face the Yankees. We see high totals for both teams. I do like going to both teams. I do prefer the Red Sox, though, just because they have some value in their lineup. Sam Travis, projected to bat sixth, really stands out as a value play at only 3,100. First base and outfield eligible. We'll start off with him. I do like Travis a lot here. The only concern I have when rostering a guy like Sam Travis is if a right-handed hitter or a right-handed pitcher comes into the game, then Sam Travis will probably get pinch hit for, which is definitely a concern. But he does have some power versus lefties. He could definitely hit a home run here against Sabathia. Sabathia will give up home runs to righties. We saw it in his last start against the Twins, I believe it was. He went out there and just got really crushed. The Twins put up a couple bombs against him, I know. Gave up 6 runs, 7 hits through 6 innings, allowed 4 home runs. This is a Red Sox team that we know has a lot of power against lefties. I feel like Sabathia is going to really struggle here. Mookie, I really like. JD, Xander Bogaerts, Vasquez, Sam Travis, I really like. Chavez, you could definitely go to as well. But if you're stacking the Red Sox, don't leave out the lefties, especially Rafael Devers. Devers has just been so good this year versus right-handed pitching and left-handed pitching. Obviously, he is not an optimal play, but if you're stacking the Red Sox, you should definitely include him in your stacks. But Travis, as a cash play or stacking the Red Sox, I think makes a ton of sense at only 3,100. And then going to the outfield, I do like Mookie Betts a lot at 5,400. I expect he's going to be popular. Him and JD are probably going to be very popular today, but for a good reason. Just a really favorable matchup with Sabathia. I know a couple of these guys have hit him well as well, I think. Yeah, Mookie's gone 12 for 31 off Sabathia. Sandy Leon's also got some BVP off Sabathia, 3 for 10 with the home run. But BVP aside, just a really good spot for Mookie. We know how good this guy is versus left-handed pitching. Has a ton of power, has some speed as well. Just a really good hitter overall, and Sabathia is not a pitcher I'm afraid to stack against, especially with the really good lineup that the Red Sox have. So love going to Red Sox bats, Travis and Mookie, 2 of my favorite plays. Then another team I do like is the Rays. I think the Rays are going to be a team I look to for value versus Ryan Baruchi. Right now we don't have a run total on this game, but I imagine the Rays total is probably going to be 5 or above. Baruchi's not a pitcher I'm afraid to take batters against. He's made 1 start this year, his last start against the Indians. He didn't do that great. Through 4 2/3 innings, he allowed 7 hits, 4 runs, only got 3 strikeouts. Not a heavy strikeout pitcher. Not a guy that's going to go out there and mow a team down. He kind of pitches to contact. He's easy to hit off of. So the Rays definitely make sense for me. A lot of righties in this lineup. Darno, Pham, Garcia, Duffy, Mike Brosseau, Gilmer Heredia. And then 8 and 9 hitters, Adames and Zunino, are also righties as well. Right now, the only lefty in the projected lineup is Austin Meadows. He's a very good left-handed hitter. So tough spot for Baruchi. Plus, this game's in Toronto, which is a much more favorable hitter's park rather than if this game was in Tampa Bay. So that's just another factor going towards the Rays being a good stack here. I do really like Brosseau. He's very cheap at only 3,600. He does have a lot of power. Definitely going to be a guy that I look to, especially in my Rays stacks. He's at second base and third base, so if you want to stack the Rays and you want to play like Matt Duffy, right now Fantasy Labs has Matt Duffy in the projected lineup, batting 5th for 3,400. He's going to be a great value play as well. You can play Duffy and Brosseau together because Brosseau can be played at second base and then Duffy can be played at third base. Just a really good, easy team to stack. They got third base, second base guys. They got catcher leading off, Tommy Pham and Garcia, both in the outfield you can play, and both are very cheap. I'm going to have a lot of 4-man Yankee stacks, 4-man Red Sox stacks to go along with Rays. So I'm going to have a lot of 5-man Yankees with 3 Rays or 5 Red Sox with 3 Rays, because those Rays stacks are going to give you value so that way you can pay up for Kershaw. Because if you want to get Kershaw in there, you're definitely going to need to find some value hitters. Obviously, Alexander is a good value pitcher that I like, but going Kershaw-Alexander doesn't let you just pay up for any hitter that you want. You still got to find some value hitters. And that's where the Rays are going to come in handy, in my opinion. So that's it for my 5 plays for this 4-game early slate. Talking about stacks now, the teams I like the most are definitely the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Rays. The Dodgers are also a team I don't want to overlook. The Dodgers are definitely going to be a team I do look to stack, but I think they're going to be behind the Red Sox and the Yankees. If I'm going to pay up for expensive bats, I'm probably going to go to guys like Mookie. I'd rather play Mookie over Bellinger. I'd rather play Judge over Bellinger. So if I'm paying up for expensive bats, I'm going to look to this game first, but still will have some exposure to the Dodgers. against Joe Ross. They do have a high total as well, 5.8 implied run total for the Dodgers. Don't really think I'm going to be stacking Blue Jays. And I like pitching in this Tigers-Mariners game, so probably not going to look for hitters there. So let's go ahead and talk about some BVP real quick, then we'll end the video. So there's only 3 BVP plays on this early slate. I mentioned 2 of them from the Red Sox. Sandy Leon gone 3 for 10 with a home run off of Sabathia, and Mookie's gone 12 for 31. And then Gerardo Parra probably won't even be in the lineup, but he's gone 13 for 41 with a home run off of Clayton Kershaw. So that's it for BVP today, guys, and I think that is it for this 4-game early slate. Like I said at the beginning, this is not my only video for today. I will be making another video for the main slate, 10 games tonight, Saturday night slate. I will be covering DraftKings and Yahoo for that. So if you are planning to play the main slate, then make sure you check that video out. But I think that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Drop a like if you did. Subscribe if you are new. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. If you have any thoughts, feel free to leave them down in the comment section. Or if you need to hit me up on Twitter, if you need to ask me something, you can do that through Twitter. My DMs are always open, so feel free to give me a follow over there at the DFS_GOAT. But I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and good luck on this early slate. Peace.